Good evening and welcome to Tuesday night's podcast with the girls from Our Turf Football. I want to first thank, we are a sponsored show. So first I'm going to give a big shout out to Donkey's Steakhouse in the Mount Holly area. Had their big turnout and grand opening. It was great. So I saw some pictures. I saw some great turnout for you guys and some cheesesteaks up in the Mount Holly area. Also, remember they got two other locations in Camden and Medford. Best cheesesteak north of the Mississippi. So, but we have to get started here, but we want to thank Donkeys and them for sponsoring us. And our special guest tonight will be Michelle Jinx. She is thank God she's here because she's like the only winner of the Losers Club this weekend with her Cowboys. So Dana's off playing across the pond. So joining me as usual all of us are co-hosting. So it's Sonia, Kate, and of course Michelle. Thank you so much. It has been quite a day. And of course, John, seriously, look, ready? This was 5 minutes before the show, John.
Soccer. We have our own soccer. It's awesome.
It's great. It's great.
So anyway, of course, the news today was John Gruden. And we're just going to start there and get this out of the way because, I think we're all kind of abreast of kind of what happened and the situation and love to get all of our opinions on it because, I certainly have an old school type opinion that wasn't very, very received well today. So, I'm going to start actually with you, Michelle, since you're our special guest. I'm going to go ahead and get your feelings and thoughts on this.
On John Gruden. I think it's an unfortunate situation. You hate to see the mirage of emails that were going on and all of the content and, at first, I saw something on Twitter where they said the first set and they was like, oh, whatever. And then the second set it was like, oh, heck, I got to go. So, I think there was so much content there that it was difficult to overlook. And I think if you think back to 2016-17 with Jerry Richardson with the Carolina Panthers, who was sort of in the same situation, sexual misconduct, racism around in the camp. But this situation is more than just John Gruden because this was an investigation into the Washington football team and all of the things that were going on there. We have yet to hear anything about that. And I think them releasing these emails kind of overshadows that because I think they had to know that once they released these emails and some of that the content and the racist and homophobic content, that was going to overshadow what's actually going on and what they need to do and they're not going to do to the Washington football team.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what do you think?
First of all, I want to tell y'all how glad I am Dana's not here, so I don't have to watch the I told you so dance because she didn't like to hire from the minute Vegas hired Gruden. And the fact that I know she's doing it in London, but I don't have to see it, makes me happy. And Michelle brought up exactly what has been sticking in my craw all day. This was strategically released to kind of take the eyes off of what's going on with that Washington football team. That investigation in there has been going on for far too long. Mm-hmm. There need to be some results and some answers and some stuff needs to be said. I don't know how anyone thinks they can coach a football team making the kind of remarks that John Gruden made. This isn't about, it was 10, 11 years ago. It was old news. Get over it. Move on. You have a locker room of very diverse people, both racially. You also have, if I'm not mistaken, like one of the first openly homosexual players on that team. You've got a lot of diversity going on in that locker room. That team was on a roll, and we saw Sunday in their game what this did to the locker room. He had no choice but to leave because you can't come back from that. Mm-mm. You can't come back. You can't. Reading the details from some of the emails, I almost got physically sick to think that there are still people in this day and age who say the things that he said it. And it's not like he was at a bar and drunk and said something. He typed it in an email, which auto-corrected spelling, and then he still hit the send button.
Not auto-corrected spelling.
You know what I mean?
Sonia, go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah. wow, don't send in emails, guys. Always
Right?
email like you're going to get called in front of a jury. And that's how I do it. Like, seriously. And not that, but seriously, email like you're going to get called in front of a jury one day. Bottom
like
line.
your mom's gonna read it.
Or like your mom's going to read it. And sometimes even not then, in front of a jury.
Yeah.
Even in front of a jury. I think, and just, wow. And the Washington football team, ooh, that's going to be some ished. And we know it. And I think that, wow. It's just a lot. It's just an absolute lot. And he had to go. And yeah, we know that people still think this. I mean, 10 years ago, okay, whatever. It wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't. And, and it wasn't that different of a time either. No, it wasn't. So, yeah, he had to go.
See, mine was, like you said, it was focused on like Adam Schefter said, he hit everything. He hit the African American community. He hit women. He hit gay, lesbians. He hit the home run.
He hit them verbally. I just want to clarify in case anyone's joining us late. He didn't actually hit them. He verbally.
Yeah, but this was an email that, if I'm not mistaken, and if I read right, was basically sent from Bruce Allen. Bruce Allen initiated this conversation with him.
Yes.
So that's where I kind of go, here's a guy, he was announced. These are terms that I grew up with playing football, hearing the guys, what they were saying. I still think how many of the male coaches, when these female referees make a call, how many's in the head going, oh, you know it, you know it's still there, and so to me, it was something that I feel like you said, it was placed there. It was released specifically to target him. There is no doubt in my mind. I want to know what else is in those emails. I want to know who.
I want to know what Alan's response to his email.
Me too. What was the first email?
It was okay.
That's what I want to know.
I mean, it was okay for him to send it, and I'm pretty sure that conversation just kept going like it was nothing. Like, this is everyday talk. This is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I think it was probably they were upset. I mean, it'd be like if I emailed Kate and I was just like about if we worked together and something, and I emailed something about our president, and I'm like, of the company, not the United States. I would just, kind of confide in you that, I think she's So to me, it was like kind of he initiated this, and he has an openly gay player on his team who has already said that he felt like one of the guys, he didn't treat him any different. So, I mean, I'm just kind of torn because I'm like, Jesus, this was, and I think, like you said, I think it was too far. He could not get himself out of this because this whole new culture thing is totally.
The only way he could have gotten himself out of it is if he'd have come out and said, listen, I did it. I wrote it. I said it. I was a different person then. I was educated. I've spoken to some people. I don't think that way anymore. I've made changes, because this should open up the conversation, because I want to know what Bruce's response was. Did Bruce say, oh, yeah, you're right? Or did he say, hey, we don't use that kind of language. That's not
no,
okay.
there's no way he
didn't.
But
this is an
he
opportunity to do that for all those people that we grew up with who still think that way, even if they're filtering and they don't say it. There are always going to be people who think that way. And this could open the conversation for you to change the way a lot of people think, especially the next generation of people coming up who were raised this way. They need to know it's not okay. It's not okay. And maybe some of that will come from this, some conversations, but I don't know what he does next, because I can't see them putting him in a booth.
Mm-mm.
In Vegas, he just had to worry about the Vegas fan base.
What about in a couple years from now?
I don't know what he does next.
What about a couple years from now? Do you see another affiliate taking a chance on him, like maybe 4 or 5 years from now?
It's really hard.
Probably in the booth.
Think?
Maybe, but to your point, Lisa, he hit everybody. I mean, it's not like it's just one group that he's got to get to forgive him. Bowling pins with a different name on each one, and he knocked them all down. So it's going to take a lot for him to be on any kind of a national broadcast again, I think.
Okay, and then another quick question for you guys. Do you think anybody else is going to get implicated? Do you think this is it, or do you think we're going to start seeing other names start coming out?
I think they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, and that was to hide the story that we were supposed to be in. Everybody else is already, I saw this meme where everybody was hitting delete on the phone. We may not see anymore because it's going to implicate people who they don't want to implicate, and that's the people that's not coaching but people higher up. So I don't think so. I don't know. I know they're there, but I don't know if we'll see them.
Agreed. I think they're out there. I mean, they're out there. We know it, and they're just calling their IT people to scrub everything. That's
fast.
They are.
I tested. I did it last night. I was like, they're pulling plugs.
You remember the movie The Firm? Just
yes,
yeah.
Those are my thoughts right there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, and we're in new technology with social media. It's the old school for us, and I'm sure some people remember. It was shredding paper. It was paper shredders.
Enron, like the Enron thing. Right?
Oliver North, even older than y'all.
All right. So we got
my company 3-4 years ago went to a 90-day retention policy on emails due to some lawsuits, and everything is automatically deleted off our servers and everywhere after 90 days. If you send or receive an email that you think could pertain to a lawsuit, you're required to put it in a litigation exempt folder. And a lot of companies are doing that. I'm surprised somebody still had these emails from 10 years ago.
And
then Katie just had a great point. Weird. They save everything. People are trying. So I think Roger Goodell.
Things get bad, and we need a scapegoat. Here's the John Gruden emails. We got them right here. Let's wait until we need to release them, and then
especially Goodell, because Goodell's happy about it because nobody wants to be called that, and so he's a little happy today that John's out.
I'm just sad for me because I picked the Raiders to win that.
I was about to say,
I'm sitting pretty with the Chargers, baby. I'm sitting pretty with the new Golden Boy Herbert. I'm sitting pretty.
I thought about you, Kate, when I watched the game the other day. I'm like, they're going downward.
Please don't say Justin Herbert's name to me right now.
Oh, that's true.
I need him in 48 hours. I need.
All right, well, let's move on to your subject, Kate, because I know you did a lot of tweeting about this with the kickers. So I'll let you roll with this one.
9 missed extra points in the 1:00 games. You have one job. One job. And I usually give Lisa a hard time when she picks on a kicker that misses a kick here and there.
Thank you.
9. Just the 1:00 games. And I'm sorry, missing an extra point is inexcusable. To me, it's like free throws. If your free throw percentage in basketball ain't 95% or, in that range, it's the same shot every time, right? It's the same field goal every time. Maybe you get a little bit of wind or whatever, but none of these were like in crazy weather games.
No.
And then let's talk about the end of that Cincinnati Bengals Green Bay Packers game.
Absolutely.
They missed 5 field goals. The first one was right before the 2-minute warning. From then into overtime, 5. And I really wanted the Bengals to win that game just because I'm aggravated with Aaron Rodgers and whatever he's doing with his hair. But I love Mason Crosby. So then I'm like, Mason needs to get one so he can get that monkey off his back. I don't want him to spend a week feeling bad about missing those. 5 missed field goals. I've never seen that many in such a short period of time.
Neither have I.
Kicking was just a problem.
NFL research. When Rodrigo Blankenship missed the point after on Monday Night Football yesterday, it was the 13th miss across the NFL this weekend. It was the most missed PATs in a single week since the Super Bowl era. Yeah. It is also the 25th missed kick in total this week, including 12 missed field goals, most in any week since 1987, where it was 11.
But
so when Vizcaino missed the one for the Chargers in our game, they just went for 2 after that. Like, I don't know that he tried another extra point. They're like, we're just going to go for 2. Apparently,
but wasn't that the point when they moved it back to add a little flavor to the game? Because that is not as easy as a kick. And so now we see, at first I was one of the people like, why are you wasting time with this? I mean, you moving it back, so what? But now look at it. That kick is so important.
It's making a difference, isn't it?
It is.
It makes
really
a huge difference. And I sat at that game dying laughing because 1, I could hear Lisa saying you got one job. And 2, I felt so bad for Crosby. when he took his helmet off, because you see all this gray hair, and I'm like, listen, this is in his head. This guy's too old for this. He don't have time.
He's too old.
I'm like,
he doesn't.
When after he missed his third, when I was like, they got to give him a chance to redeem himself. I need him to go down there. I said, because it's mental, and he looks so sick. I'm like, they're all going to the left. All of the kicks in that game went to the left. I'm like, just move them, just kick it that way. I'm like, just kick it towards the right, and it'll go that way. Because something is going on. But I felt so relieved when he finally had the opportunity to make a field goal.
Well, and what I noticed, and this is probably just me because I'm weird, is I like to tweet one job and I like to find a little GIF, and there used to be like 2. Now there are like 20 different ones. You have one job. There's like Loki from the Avengers and movies, the Thor movies. I'm like, apparently.
That's what I use a lot.
Apparently, you have one job is becoming a bigger thing, and there's more demand for social media outrage from people. That video of Blankenship just sitting on the sideline, he just looked so sad.
But he could
like, Lisa tweeted, somebody better go check on him. I was like, oh.
Did you see, he was talking to himself too? Did you see that? I don't know if he was praying or if he was talking to himself.
I was like, oh, honey, it'd be okay.
But we got over 50,000 views.
Give him a hug. It'll be all
we
right.
got 50,000 views on that.
Poor thing.
Yeah, I was just like, somebody better go check on this guy. He just looked dejected. And then I know that Frank Wright said he had an injury, but they never disclosed the injury. They just said he was dealing with something. So I ask you girls, here's the commentators on Monday night saying that, yes, Frank Wright said he's dealing with something. And then you see the guy sitting like that, talking to either his imaginary friend or he's walking himself through things. I mean,
he has an emotional support ghost that travels with him, and he talks to him.
I don't know. I was just a little concerned about him. I'm like, should somebody maybe go talk to him?
I mean, the kickers are weird dudes anyway, right?
I was about to say, they're very.
You remember he missed a kick. He wasn't there for the kick. I mean, I think he couldn't find his helmet or whatever the problem. But what was so funny is I saw him kicking on the sideline. He had his helmet on. And then when it was time to kick, somebody else went out there. And I'm like, well, what happened? Where did he go?
It was the punter. And the punter missed, remember?
Right.
And there was a penalty. Then he came on.
Yep.
Oh, boy. It's. I think the earth is tilted. A little weird the past couple of days. And, especially if he's going through something, it takes one thing just to kind of mess with your mind and, just be there. And, I mean, I think that's what we saw with a lot of the kickers, except for in the Minnesota game.
No problems with kicking in Minnesota.
No problems.
No
problems. But we do not have a problem with Lamar Jackson being up in the elite group of quarterbacks. I'm sorry. John and I went out over it last night, and I'm telling you what, I know he can make mistakes and fumble the ball, but he's 110% every single play. And I'm sorry, he's one of the most accurate passers from the pocket. Everybody always says that he scrambles. That dude can flat out throw the ball from the pocket. And I think we saw that last night. That was a tremendous game. You got to give it up to the Colts. I mean, I think the Colts, are a little underrated than what people are giving them credit for.
The Ravens.
The Colts. I think the Colts are a little underrated. I think that they can hang with some teams.
Well, I picked the Colts to win the division.
Yes, you did.
I did. They're disappointing me, but I did pick them to win the division. I thought they were a little better than people thought they were. And
I think they are.
Their quarterback situation, I think that's, they stumbled in the beginning. I still don't know if Carson Wentz can get them there, but he looked a lot better in this last game. They were getting the ball out a lot quicker because that guy gets beat up. And so, but yeah, he gets beat up, and they have a defense that's strong enough. It's just a matter of, whether Carson is going to turn the ball over or not. Mm-hmm. So,
which is true.
When Lamar came out of college in the draft out of Louisville, he immediately got tagged as a running quarterback, just like we said. You just talk about Russell Wilson and some other ones. And that first year in the league, we had a number of conversations about how, Boy Bear learned to throw because if he keeps running, he's going to get hurt and it's going to end his career. And I know a couple people in that area, a couple of the sports writers who said he has really worked and focused. And this season, it is paying off. He threw for over 400 yards last night. I don't want to hear anyone else telling me he's a running quarterback. I don't want to hear anyone else telling me he can't throw from the pocket. Like Lisa said, he's doing it, and he's proven that he can do it, which scares me because he's in my division. But I know that a lot of that is his own hard work. He's not just sitting back and taking the easy road and just running the ball and doing, that kind of stuff. He has worked at his craft, and I have to give him respect for that, even if I hate the fact that he plays for Baltimore.
No, I agree. He has worked hard, and we're seeing the dividends. And we all knew that this is what he was going to eventually be. He just had to work. And again, we have to give players time. They have to develop. They have to, hone things and get it together. But he's going to be good. He's going to be real good.
I mean, there's a lot of factors. He's in the right system for him. They're giving him time. And it makes me look at some of the other quarterbacks that came out the year he did that aren't doing as well as he did and make me wonder, is it a talent thing or is it a work thing? Is it a scheme thing? So those are the kind of things that I always wonder, like if, we in Cleveland, we took Baker. If we had taken Sam Darnold or Josh Allen or somebody,
would things be different?
How would things be different? I think Baker fits with Cleveland. I don't know if those other boys would have been comfortable shotgunning a beer at an Indians game, but that sold a lot of Baker Mayfield jerseys the next day because that's how Cleveland is. But
and people went and got tattoos, didn't they?
They did. They're yeah.
And I think I have to, just like John just mentioned, you have to give credit to the good Harbaugh because he's using Lamar. We have evil Harbaugh in Michigan. And we have good Harbaugh here. And so you have to give it up to good Harbaugh because he is using Lamar. He's tailored the offense around Lamar's talents. And that's what a good head coach and a good offensive coordinator does. You don't try to force him into your system. You get the system to fit his talents. And yes, he can run. And yes, he can throw. I'm a college football person, so I watched him all during college. So I knew what he could do. But the best thing about him wasn't what I thought he can do, but his mindset and his attitude about getting better. He wanted to. He wanted to be able to throw the ball in the pocket, to do everything that he needed to do. And that he's still working. Same thing I say about Dakota. As much as I give him grief, I know that he's working to get better. And he has that attitude that he wants to get better. And that's what you want.
And you brought up a good point, and so did Kate, with quarterbacks coming into a system and head coaches like Harbaugh, the good Harbaugh. But the evil Harbaugh is undefeated at Michigan right now. They are undefeated. So just got to give him that credit there. So what gets me so much is like, why don't other coaches and teams see this formula that works of bringing in a quarterback that you can work around or get? Harbaugh, like the good Harbaugh, with Lamar. It's beautiful the way he kind of like leaves it to Lamar. You're in this game, just like that. The thing that did it for me is when on that fourth down, when he just looked at Lamar, he says, "You want to go for it?" And Lamar's like, "Hell yeah!" It gives me goosebumps because they're going to make it when you have that commodity between your team and coach. And it's so crazy because down here with Miami with Tua, they're like totally not using him for what he did in college, and it's like. You see the formula working, and it drives me crazy. Why don't other coaches just do it?
Well, these were the skills he had in college, so why wouldn't you want those skills on your football? I think what you're seeing is I see it sometimes in the industry I work in, is you have a person who rises to a certain level, and they assume they're the smartest person in the room, and that the way they want to do things is the right way, and they're not interested or willing to look at what other coaches are doing to be successful and go, you know what, that's working for them. Let me see if that'll work for me here. They're like, no, I'm going to do it my way. And I'm going to force this round peg into a square hole. And I had a whole lot of football just like that in Cleveland until we got the right quarterback. And then now, to John's point, coaching matters. Now that Kevin Stefanski's here, you're seeing a very different Browns team after all the stuff we've had. It's not one or the other. It's that relationship. And Lisa, you needed to go talk to Brian Flores and figure out what's wrong with him and Tua. Like, did Tua hit on his daughter? Is there an issue somewhere? Because those two need to get on the same page, and then everything else will be fine.
Or maybe he needs to hit on his daughter. Who knows?
Maybe you never know.
Baby girl needs a date for prom.
And the funny thing is, I think I'm dealing with almost the kind of Patriot way because Flores doesn't talk to anybody. Flores doesn't answer anybody's questions. It's the same thing. It's, we know there's a problem. We'll deal with it internally with our coaches. And it's just the way it's going to be. So you're not going to get anything else. But it's just so funny. It's like we have 2.5 offensive coordinators, and it's the same plays every single week. I'm sorry. I could draw a play in the dirt right now that would be better than what he's putting out on that field. So, and it just drives you crazy because you think you have 2.5 coordinators. You think 3 offensive coordinators could come up with something new, exciting. It's not. We see the same things all the time.
I forgot to tell you, I had a dream about you the other day.
Oh, God.
And you just made me think about it. Do y'all remember that movie? I think it was called Eddie.
Our
with
Turf
Whoopi
After
Goldberg,
Dark.
And she ended up as the coach of a professional basketball team, like as a joke.
Yeah.
She actually did
the
well.
Knicks.
I
Didn't she
dreamt
coach
that
the
after
Knicks?
week 8, the Dolphins were like, you know what, we're just going to pick a random fan and let them coach the rest of the year. And they picked Lisa.
And they picked Lisa.
And they went 8-0.
That's because we're throwing the ball every damn down.
Every down.
Every single down.
I'd like to throw the ball
Who
more, but,
cares?
that's my system. You need to throw the ball more down there.
Definitely.
Oh, God, John. If Tua tried to hit on your daughter, he'd overthrow her by 8 yards. Really, buddy?
Oh, my God. We gotta show that. Seriously. Oh, the Drake. What was that about Drake? What?
Y'all give him on Drake.
Oh, Jesus. What would we do without John?
Oh,
What?
John,
Right?
Exactly.
We got to get him a shirt, Lisa. Don't we have some shirts?
Yeah, we have to get him a
We got to
donkey
get
shirt.
him an our shirt.
We gotta get him a donkey
or
shirt.
a donkey shirt, something.
Figure out how to get this off here now. I can't figure out which one it was.
He's stuck on us now.
Oh, there you go.
I'm still got I'm still on the. I had a dream about you and Sonya with the Our Turf After Dark.
That's a different channel.
I bet you we get a lot more views.
We are not starting an Our Turf OnlyFans. That's all I have to say.
No, we're
about
not.
it.
We're
Not. Michelle's intrigued, but no. Michelle, shake your head. No.
You guys like head coaches that cry?
Oh, God.
Are we going to talk about the Bears?
No, we're gonna talk about
The Bears.
Stop
I
there.
think
It's
poor
coming to
Nagy.
fruition what I said. What did I say? What did I say on the Pick'em show? That Red wasn't gonna be there long. I did
No,
say.
You did. You did. You said that.
Red wasn't gonna be there long. The youngsters was gonna come in, and the Bears was gonna win the division. Now I don't know about.
I
the
don't
last-
think they're
I
going to
don't know about the division thing.
I don't think they win in the division.
I don't know
Let's
the
go
last
there.
part, but the rest of it.
I will tell you, when I saw the beginning of the clip and he was getting choked up, there was that part of me who was just, Tom Hanks, no crying in football, kind of like,
Yeah.
really? But as I listened to him, by the time he was done talking, what it told me was how much he feels in his soul the
For this
pain
team,
of
yeah.
what this team has been and how much he really cares to be that raw in that kind of a manly macho job. My hat's off, bad hair and all. I respect that. I didn't get a chance to check and see what the Bears fans and media was saying about it. But when someone's willing to be that raw with their emotions, I got nothing but respect.
I think it's good. It's a macho locker room, and you if I'm a player, I'm feeling, we're all emotional. We're all happy. The coach is laying it all on the line. He's, he wants to win. That's telling me he wants to win, and he's doing everything he can to help us win. And I'm behind him. I want to play for him. Let's go out there and cry together.
We had Dan Campbell down here, and he was very much that way down here as far as the emotion. And when I looked at the stats of the Lions, it was ridiculous. I mean, you're this close every single week. It's like every single game. And so I think it just finally caught up to him because I was like, when they showed it, I put, it was like, thank God this isn't baseball because
they're so crying in baseball.
But but like I said, then you talked to a lot of the coaches and saw the coaches that night talking about him, and they said the same thing. And John put a good point. And I did think about that, John. I did. John said he dick for meal, cried like a baby. He did. He did. But seeing a big macho man like Dan just take it like that was kind of, I was like, whoa, it was kind of good. So, but Sonia, that's your team.
That's my coach, right?
That's my
I don't
coach.
know why I've said the Bears. I don't know why I have the Bears on my brain. I know
all
he's the
good.
Lions coach. The Bears got issues too, but
the Bears got Nagy. What are you talking about?
But like, here's the thing,
Nagy
and I get
it.
He's just gonna have to have a lot of tissues, y'all. He's just gonna have to have a lot of tissues, and I understand. And we all want it. We all want him to win. We all want to win, but this franchise. I mean, you have to get used to losing in weird ways. You have to get used to wonky calls by the refs that haven't been called since 1922. You know what I'm saying? Like that go against you. Like you have to get used to this. This is just what the Lions are, right? And so I get it and I understand, and he wants them to win, and who doesn't? But maybe I'm being a little jaded here, but you got it. It's going to be okay. We're going to get through it. And I know you want these guys to win, and everybody does. But get the tissues ready. Because there's going to be some more heartbreaks. There's going to be some more heartbreaks. And I really hope that they do get the win for him. But there's going to be some more heartbreaks, dude. So just have your tissues ready. That's all.
2 games? Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to be...
No, you're okay. You're
2
fine.
games you lost 17-19 with like a last-minute field goal.
It was some and it's the
19-17, and both
weird.
on. I think the 2 field goals combined were like over 100 yards. Because Justin Tucker's was 60 some odd, and
which that technically should have been a win. I'm sorry, that was a. That
was the bad refs and
the bad ref call there.
A good kick, a once in a lifetime kick.
I mean,
right, exactly.
Do the Lions play Jacksonville this year? Because
no, they don't. I looked through that. I was like, wait.
I'm about to say that's an opportunity there.
We have the NFC West. Matt Stafford coming up in a couple weeks.
Ooh, Matt. Ooh.
Home or away?
Yeah.
You coming home?
No, I think that's at SoFi. I think that's away. And,
that would be interesting.
Yeah, and then we have the AFC North. I'm sorry, the AFC North. So no Jaguars. So yeah.
You get Pittsburgh twice.
Yep.
They'd still
or just once. But you get Pittsburgh, you get Cincinnati. I don't know how Joe Burrow's doing. He had a throat contusion this week, and I haven't gotten an update on him.
He's fine.
He's fine. Now I will say this: I one time was at a batting cage, and I got beamed in the throat by a ball. That hurt. So I feel Joe Burrow on that one. It hurts. It hurts like crazy.
Are you coming to my house for the game when y'all are coming to Cleveland?
Maybe.
Girl, I got to
They got the Lions schedule the next 3 games. You have the Bengals,
the
Rams, and then the Eagles.
Mm.
Well, gee, Michelle, how do you feel about that?
Get your tissues ready, y'all. I mean, I think the Eagles
They're going to upset the Rams. Mark this prediction. They're going to upset the Rams.
The Rams.
You heard it from me. Don't call me after the game, though.
Don't call you crying after the game.
All right, we got to wrap this up because Dana's going to send me a text right now going, "You're over," which we are, which we knew we would be. We always are.
We always are.
So,
when are we not?
But
you're still on mute, Kate. You're still on mute, honey.
I know, because I was saying mean things about Dana, and she's got control of my mute button from England. If she's not going to be here, she doesn't get to tell us when we're done.
Everybody from England.
We talk quarterbacks and kickers today. She's dying.
Yes, we did.
It's like the best show of the year for Dana, and she ain't here.
Yeah, that's right. So
Dana, look, I got to hold up the defense for Dana.
Oh. God, I thought we were going to get out of here without defensive talk today. I was so excited.
On the same page.
Oh, gosh.
Who's got the best? I got a question then, Michelle. Who's got the best defense in the league right now?
Well,
Don't say it.
Don't
I know
say
she's.
it.
I'm wondering if she's going to say what I'm thinking.
Seriously.
Seriously.
I'm not going to say it.
But I'm going to say
Cleveland or Denver, there are some pretty good defenses out there. I think Cleveland's defense has been playing great. I think Denver's defense has been surprisingly good this year. The Panthers defense, they didn't look too good in a certain place. You don't want me to say it, so I'm not going to say it, but they didn't look.
You got the best cornerback in the league. I'll give you that.
They didn't look too good there, but there are a number of defense. Tampa Bay, they're kind of weak on the back end, but their front is as good as it comes, and there are some pretty good defenses. So I don't know. There's some tough ones out there.
Well, my Cleveland defense is a hot mess right now. I got Jadeveon Clowney hurt. I got almost all my secondary left the game this week in the fourth quarter. Who knows what Cleveland's D is going to look like coming up here. But to John's point, that Bills defense is quietly pounding.
Playing some confidence. They're playing some confident football.
Yep.
Like I said, I see. We talked about defense. I agree. I think Buffalo, and that hurts me to say it, but I do. I think they got the best defense.
They got a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo, my Super Bowl pick. Remember?
Yep. We're not gonna live this down.
What was it again? Would you like to say it again?
The Buffalo Bills are going to the Super Bowl. That's what I said.
And who are they playing?
How about the Cowboys?
One time. You can say it one time.
Homer. It's a Homer pick, boy.
But at least it's a reasonable. It ain't like Sonya's picking the Lions to go to the Super Bowl. Like the Cowboys.
I think the Cowboys are back.
The
Cowboys are back. We talked about that last week on the show.
Yeah.
I said the Cowboys are back. I think they're solid. And I'm sorry, hands down, Diggs is the best cornerback in the league right now. That kid's having a monster league. Monster year.
The Cowboys are back for the first 5 games. And so they look good. And the offense is doing what we expect the offense to do. I think the offensive line has been surprisingly good, but it's the defense. It's the defense that's playing better. It's the defense. In order for the Cowboys to get where they need to go, where we expect them to be, which is where I expect them to be every year, the defense, and I've been saying this for years, the defense has to get better. But the defense is playing great. Whenever we can play a game where Dakota has 0 touchdowns and we still win the game, and that was the game against the Chargers, which I was there, by the way, the defense won that game. The defense and the kicker won the game for us. So when we can play a game where our defense wins, and I haven't seen that since we had Haley them back in the day. No. That's how bad our defense has been. So I get excited every week watching them, not because of what the offense is doing, but because of what I see the defense doing. And the defense being in the top 10, statistically, we've been in the top before, but it was just garbage. This year, they're in the top, and you can see the difference. I think Dan Quinn is doing an excellent job with the defense. I think that Joe Philbin has done a magnificent job with our offensive line, because the offensive line was slipping. I know he wasn't pretty good on the head coach, but he's over there behind the big dudes. He's doing a wonderful job. And then the job that Al Harris is doing with our defensive backs and Stephon Diggs. You see how Diggs has turned around. I mean, you can kind of see it when he was a rookie. He was getting beat, but he was always right there. He was right there. So you knew sooner or later he was going to become the player that we saw at Alabama. So I'm enjoying watching him. I've been enjoying watching this season so far. We still haven't done anything. Our division is still always 1 game or 2 games away from someone else winning. And we haven't even played the football team yet. So, and that's a heated rivalry. It doesn't matter what the records are. They will try to kill us. And so, I think that we have to keep going at this pace and hoping that there are no injuries. But if Dakota can stay healthy and the defense continues to play the way they have, then it looks pretty good. My Homer prediction might just get me to that championship game against Aaron double check.
And for the record, Dakota means Dak. So
I was about to say she's the only person I know who.
no, and some listeners are probably like, "Who's Dakota?" They're probably on their phones going, "Who's this Dakota?"
I'm glad you brought up Joe Philbin, just because I think we should probably talk about this on a future episode. He's one of those coaches who needs to stay in his lane. He is very good at what he does. He was not good as a head coach, and I was just like, "Dude, go back to get back in your lane. You are extremely good at that. Just go do that." And I'm glad to see that he's doing good things for y'all down there, because that's where he belongs. That's where his talent really lies. Lies.
Anyway,
all lies.
We got to wrap this up. We're gonna get in real big trouble. She's in bed now, hopefully in England, but she's gonna get up and look at that time tomorrow. And
She's gonna be mad.
We're gonna get some texts like, "You guys."
What time were we
Here's a donkey wave?
What time were we supposed to be done?
From a donkey ear.
8:30.
8:40. I thought we were done at like 8:40.
Today we will be. Well, all right.
Bye.
Anyway, I want to thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. You're always
thank you, Michelle. Always a pleasure.
You even got some defensive talk in there. We got the U going on for you. You got your Rattler hat on. So we got to do the U. Anyway, thank you guys. Kate, Sonia, me, Michelle Jinx, please. Thank you guys for listening. John, as always, thank you for chiming in.
And Katie, too. We appreciate it.
Yes, Katie. Thank you, Katie.
John and Katie.
All right, guys. And then once again, thank you, Donkeys. Once again, please check out their cheesesteaks, Medford, Camden, and the brand new location in Mount Holly, New Jersey. Thank you, guys. Peace out.
Peace.
Deuces.